Welcome to the Sonny and Schar pod. This week we'll be talking about the consistency of midfielders, the key battles of this game week, and we'll be announcing November's Manager of the Month. But before we do all that, we had the official unofficial Sonny and Schar pod social. Obviously CJ and I couldn't make it, having the fact that we're living abroad. But Alex, how was it? You were the sole representative and commissioner. Tell us about the night.
Yeah, it was really good. I think there was 8 of us there, 8 of us there. Can't remember the exact amount, but yeah, it was good. A lot of beer was drunk, especially between 3 people, Balf, Charlie and Rafaro mainly. There was a lot of whinging and moaning about all sorts going on, mainly fantasy. And then there was a lot of game of shuffleboard was played, a game of darts, a lot of burgers were eaten, chicken wings, all sorts. But obviously the main thing that everyone wanted to see was the pint-off between Rafaro, Peaks and Charlie, which the video has gone on social, so I'm sure you've seen it. Peaks is absolutely disgusting at necking
Smashed it.
Horrible.
Unreal.
Horrible human
I don't
being.
think I can even down a pint of water that quickly. In how quickly he necked that. But the bit that you didn't see off the back of that video was Rafaro on the floor after necking his pint and coming quite comfortably last, hyperventilating on the floor, forgetting how to breathe. He'd taken a big gulp of air before he did his pint, and then I think he nearly drowned, if I'm honest.
To be honest, I think if I attempted the same thing, I would also be curled up on the floor afterwards.
Moretti's so aggressive as well. As Moretti on it as well. Oh,
yeah, it was
It's
Moretti,
bubbly.
Oh, horrible stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a good night. We watched a bit of football as well. Just obviously that's why we got together, was to watch the football. So we caught a bit of the Everton Newcastle game, and then obviously Rafaro supports Fulham, so we ended up watching the Fulham game. But obviously the night was topped off by about 11:30 when Rafaro started falling asleep in his chair. That was a bit where I was like, right, I'm going to go home. Yeah, it's my turn to go home. But yeah, it was really good fun. Really good.
Good. Before we move on to fantasy chat with CJ, I understand that of that night there was an idea born about a fundraiser between Balf and Peak. Should we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So if I'm totally honest, when this was being spoken about on the night, Balf was about 6 pints in. And I thought, we're never going to hear of this again. Peaks was jet lagged because he'd flown in from Mexico that morning. So he was a bit delirious. And when I heard this conversation, I was like, all right, boys, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I point blank refused to say I was going to organise anything. I think I do enough organising with this pod. So I was like, I won't do it. But Balf came up with the idea, and it's gone in our WhatsApp group today, about getting everyone together to do some type of charity fundraiser, probably about August, September time next year. I think it's a great idea. We haven't got a charity yet, but if there is anybody in our fantasy league who has a charity close to their heart that you'd like us to get behind, then let us know. You don't necessarily have to take part, but we could run off the back of the charity that's close to you, so we will do something like that. I think initially they wanted to, it all started about them getting me a hair transplant in Turkey, but I don't think if we raised money for that we'd get much funds.
No.
So it's probably better that the money does go to charity. But there, I think Bal's put 3 options in there. There's a Tough Mudder, a Spartan race and a Nuts challenge, all very much endurance based, which is right up Peaks' street.
Yeah.
Not so much mine, if I'm totally honest with you.
Not mine, I'd say,
but
either.
I'll do it if it's for charity and everyone. Yeah. If we can get loads of people involved, then I'll do it. If it's just 3 of us, I might just sack it off.
Well, if I'm in the area that time of year, I don't have any plans to be, but on the off chance I am, I'll definitely join you guys. Otherwise, you have my support from Colorado. Right, let's move on. Let's talk about fantasy. CJ, take us away. Let's talk about some of the things that you've got on this list here.
Yes, boys. Just before I start, I just wanted to do a little shout out to my footy team over here for Celtic. They're running a last man standing competition. So they've just finished one actually, and So basically how it works is you pay €10 to enter, and you just pick a team to win a game every week. And if your team wins, you go through to the next round. Obviously, if you lose, you're out. You can buy back in if your team loses after the first week for €5. But basically, it goes on and on and on until there's 2 or 3 left. I think there was 2 lads left last week, Greg Mullen and Nathan Roach, and they decided to share the money. But 50%, you will get 50% of the profit, the winner, and the other 50% goes to the club. But it's a good bit of crap. We normally do sort of 2 or 3 of those every season. It's run by Jack Roach. I'll try and put some details in the description to this if I can. But yeah, more than welcome to join. It's a good bit of fun. But I
Nice.
will jump into the fantasy chat. So I've called this section "Consistency is Key." So although we discussed last week that 50 midfielders had outscored all but 3 forwards in FPL this season, I still think managers are still finding it difficult to get the right combinations on a weekly basis. And that's been down to a lack of consistency with midfield players throughout the season. The form table, if you've seen it sort of on the fantasy app when you make your transfers, you can click a form section. It's very helpful when looking at players to transfer in, as it gives a player's average score per match calculated from all matches played by his club in the last 30 days.
That's why I'm doing so shit.
That is it, mate. I was going to say that to you, yeah. However, this is probably where you're going slightly wrong, mate. Often these results or these average points for the form are skewed by 1 outstanding week and 2 or 3 average weeks. So if we look at the current form table for FPL at the moment for midfielders, it's highlighted by Eberechi Eze, who's the most informed midfielder with an average score of 8. However, as we know, he scored 20 points last week and only managed 2 against Chelsea this game week and 2 against Sunderland game week 11. So it's one of those. Do you actually look at the form table? I just said there's 2 other players in it as well that are doing well at the moment, but would you actually have them in your team? So second is Elliot Anderson. He's got an average score of 8 from 3 or 4 games. And Keenan Dewsbury Hall is third with an average score of 7.8. And then Saka is the 4th most informed midfielder with an average score of 7. So, it's one of those. I think we're really finding it hard to get these midfielders that are scoring 5, 6, 7 points every week. Semenyo did it at the start. But out of those 4 that I talked about, would you actually have any of those 4 in your team? Would you actually use the form guide? And what do you think about the consistency this season, gents?
Yeah, the consistency is a funny thing, isn't it? Because last year you had Salah, who just carried your team in midfield. And then if you didn't have Salah, you'd go with some combination of Saka and Palmer, and they usually did pretty well as well. Whereas, I mean, I know Palmer dropped the second half of the season last season. He dropped well off, didn't he? But this season, Salah's not on it. Saka's been injured. Palmer's been injured. So the premium midfielders, the expensive ones, are just not performing. Like you say, Semenyo was one of the only ones who's getting consistent returns. So he's dropped off a bit now. So I don't know. I don't really use that form feature, and I do think it's a bit reactive. Like you say, Eze's, what has he really done this season apart from
exactly
the worldy hat trick? I wouldn't really use it. I do like Elliot Anderson. I think he's hit DEFCON 13 times out of his 13 fixtures. I was reading that somewhere. It might be 12 out of 13. So he's good for 4 or 5 points a week. I had him in at the beginning of the season, then I dropped him on the wild card when Forest were doing absolutely awful under Ange. But now that Dyche is in there, I think, we've talked about Forest assets potentially being back on the menu. So Anderson's a good one. I do really like Dewsbury Hall. I don't know if you saw his goal against Newcastle, but I was like, bloody hell! That it was such a lovely touch to bring it down. It's like Berbatov-esque.
Unreal touch, yeah.
Yeah, and if you look at his form in the last 3 games, I think he's scored 3 times, or at least he's hauled 9 to 12 to 15 points each time. So I like them both, and they're both cheap, aren't they?
Yeah, very cheap. Very, very cheap. What about you, Butler?
Yeah, I haven't really had much luck with midfielders, if I'm honest, this season. That's been my main downfall, I think, that I just haven't found any balance in midfield at all. So
it is weird, isn't it? Because one week you're like, right, let's go DEFCON, let's go Caicedo, Gravenberch, Rice. Don't go for the big, wide forwards. Go for like the defensive midfielders because Defcon's really changed the game. And then the next week, Caicedo gets sent off for a -2, and you're just like, oh, what should I do now? So
That
it's
is it,
definitely
though, isn't
difficult.
it? That is it.
Yeah.
That's the consistency right there. Like we did a section sort of 2 or 3 pods ago about defensive midfielders, and we did say at the end there, like, you've got to be careful with the consistency of these players. But if you just look at Shrewsbury Hall there, I think he's got 29 points in the last 3 weeks, but then in the previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, he got 10 points.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I think the people who had Dewsbury Hall in for those 3 games, fair play, but that's pure luck because it's not based on form. Like I do understand if you got someone like Dewsbury Hall or Josh King as your 5th midfielder and you want to dip him in and out, that's great. But again, it does come down to luck. And you're so right, Ben, when you talk about Salah and Palmer and Saka from previous years. It didn't really matter who you had in midfield because Saka would get 10, 12 points pretty much every week, realistically. So then if you got a midfielder who got an extra 6 or an extra 7 the odd week, that's all you needed, realistically, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I was speaking to obviously Peaks has been flying in the last 4 or 5 weeks in fantasy. And I kind of just wanted to. I asked him. I was like, well, so what's your tactic really? And he said, well, because we're playing head to head, he said he doesn't think at all really about his overall points. He literally all he does is think about week to week. He doesn't care about the rest of his team, and his main aim each week is to have a differential in midfield that someone else doesn't have, that person that he's playing, in the hope that he'll rock up and that will be his game winner. And to be fair, that's worked for him, right? So he's had Eze a couple of times. He's had Ndai, which not many people have. He had Phil Foden this week. Just going quickly back through his teams, it's kind of always been someone else in there. But he's had Bruno Fernandes at a stage as well. So he's really chopped and changed his midfield around a lot. He had Dewsbury Hall when he scored 12 points way back at the beginning of the season. So it's probably a pretty good tactic if you're thinking about a head-to-head. It's worked so much for Peaks, but I think it's definitely something to consider, having a differential in your midfield that no one else really has, in the hope that it gets you a win.
Absolutely. But I'm just going to go through, I'm just going to sort of compare a few midfielders here. So I've tried to focus on the potential consistency for the upcoming game weeks based on game week 13 as well. So I've done it in sort of 3 or 4 price brackets. I'll do the first 2 and I'll talk about the players and we can talk about them. Then I'll do the next price bracket and then finally so I'm going to do it expensive, sort of mid-range and then cheaper options. But the 2 I've got in the top range. So I know we've talked about him a lot, but Bruno Fernandes, 8.9 million. He's 11.
He's got to be one of the most talked about blokes on the pod, Bruno Fernandes.
He has to be. He has to be.
I don't talk about Bruno, me.
But the thing is, I think particularly, obviously, I don't think it was expected for him to get a haul against Palace, but they've got West Ham at home and Wolves away in the next 2 fixtures. So, and as well as Fernandes with his assists and potential goals, that he's actually got so many ways to points this season, which makes him such an appealing FPL asset. He's achieved 136 DEFCON points this year, averaging just over 10 per game, which I think is really impressive for sort of a player of his sort of style. And then the second one in behind Fernandes is Phil Foden at 8.1 million. Like I've said here, finally delivered for his owners this game week with a 15-point haul, with 2 goals and maximum bonus points. He started the last 8 games for City, which is the essential thing, I think, for Foden. It's minutes. So it's so essential that he gets minutes if you're going to pick him for your FPL team because he isn't cheap. But I think now he's sort of immune to that pet roulette because I think he's reaching the form that he showed in the 23-24 season when he won the PFA Player of the Year. And City's fixtures are excellent moving forward, starting with Fulham away in game week 14, then Sunderland at home, Palace away, West Ham at home, Forest away, and Sunderland away up to game week 19. So What do you think about those two potential picks for potential consistency of points? Realistically, that's what we're looking at.
Foden pissed me off because I did my free hit this week against Peaks, and it was between Foden and Doku for me. And I thought Doku was the one in better form. Obviously, I was very wrong about that, and his haul did me over this weekend. But he's one of those where it's like he hasn't really come alive until this game week. I'd say, that 8 straight started the last 8 games. That's an interesting stat. I did not actually know that.
Yeah,
I
nor
thought
did
he'd
I
been
until
a bit
I looked it
less.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he'd been a bit less nailed than that, to be fair. But it's funny, isn't it? Because you're always looking to spend your money. So like Foden or Fernandes, we've got the budget because none of us are using Salah. We've got the budget for these kind of players. So you kind of want to spend the money. So I don't know. I think I'd lean towards Bruno Fernandes, even though I do think he's a fraud. those DEFCON points are appealing. Like you say, multiple ways to points. And Man United are kind of changing it around now, kind of turning around the ship. So yeah, what about you, Bella? Which one out of those two?
Well, I feel like I'm exempt from this because I'm not even going to go anywhere near Bruno Fernandes. Right. I vowed way back when that I wouldn't pick him again, and I'm not going to. But Foden's a real, as you said, Siege. Foden's an intriguing person to have, especially as Ben said that there's other premium midfielders aren't really doing much. If I'm being totally honest with you, I'm expecting Cole Palmer to be back in the starting lineup this weekend, and I would actually probably be leaning more towards him than I would be towards Foden. I don't know why. Maybe it's a bit of hope,
Differential,
false hope.
yeah.
But again, yeah, as you say, Ben, a differential. I could just do that and then have my hopes up. I don't know. It'd be a risk, definitely be a risk, but he's definitely one I'd consider in maybe.
Chelsea are doing very well at the moment as well, aren't they? So
they look good against Arsenal. Yeah,
they did. But then going down into the sort of the price bracket underneath, I've got Cody Gakpo. So he's 7.5 million. So another player on the back of a double-digit haul this weekend, scoring 14 points against West Ham.
Didn't he come off the bench though?
No, he started, I think.
He started, he started.
Did he?
Yeah, he did, yeah. They benched Salah, didn't they?
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
I was going to talk on that in a minute, but yeah, carry on with Gakpo.
But yeah, Liverpool's next 5 fixtures, like Sunderland at home, Leeds away, Brighton at home, Spurs away, Wolves at home. Like, I don't think you can get 5 better fixtures, even with Spurs in there, but like Spurs are all over the place at the moment. I think the left side looks to be his position now, particularly after this performance. And I think Liverpool need to find some form and consistency as a team. And I think the way they're going to do that is by picking a consistent team, if that makes sense. So I think Slot, if he's got players in form, I think he has to play them at the moment. You can't be chopping and changing now because you're actually trying to find consistency as a team. Like if they'd won 6 or 7 games in a row, I would have been slightly doubtful of Gakpo's minutes. But watching him play against West Ham and seeing that, I thought, oh, do you know what? He's going to be in the team for the foreseeable, particularly with Salah out of form. But yeah.
I think the thing that stood out for me in that Liverpool game more so was the fact that all of a sudden there was no Salah in the team. And where you want Wirtz to be in the game, in those little pockets in front of the back four, he was in those pockets throughout the game. And Liverpool actually looked a lot more balanced. Strangely enough, it's funny to say, they looked a lot more balanced without Salah there and allowing Wirtz to play in the number 10.
Yeah, agreed.
I also thought it freed up Isak as well. It gave Isak a bit more space, and he did have a good finish, to be fair. That was a good finish. I would lean towards Gakpo, most definitely. Again, I'm going off Peaks' background. Will you take that risk on going Wirtz now that he's sitting as that number 10 and playing where he probably wants to play? Or is the bigger conundrum for Slot, how long does he keep Salah on the bench for before Salah starts having a tantrum?
Yeah, exactly. Conversely, Slot did say that they've got something like 10 games in the space of like 33 days. So I'm not sure anyone's nailed. And no. Does he have the stones to like keep Salah dropped? They did look better, didn't they? They looked a lot better.
They did look
Wirtz looks a
better,
lot
yeah.
better. Isak got his first Premier League goal. They looked better. It's just so annoying. Like, bringing in Van Dijk week before, I think, in the 3-0 defeat against Forest. So then this week I'm like, I'm going to free hit anyway, so I'm not going to use Virgil. And then he keeps a cleaner against West Ham. It's just so bloody unpredictable at the moment, which is slightly what's keeping me away from people like Gakpo, who I do think he is nailed for minutes, though. I think you're right.
I think he is. I think he is at the moment. I think I just wanted to see a performance like that before I went for him, because like I've got Schar, and it's actually not too bad to go from Schar to Gakpo. It's not.
Mate,
It's
I'd
not
say that's a
too bad.
no-brainer, Siege. The fact that you've stuck with Schar for so long, I'm shocked that you stuck with him for that long.
But like, the thing is,
I think it helped you that he got injured. No,
it makes your decision easy.
It definitely did, because I was going to get rid of Grealish. Yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke, really. But I'll go on to two more players just to finish off that list. So, the price bracket under Gakpo, maybe under a little bit more. So, Dango Ouattara, so 6 mil. So he was picked by many managers this week, if you were free hitting in particular, and delivered with an excellent 12-point haul against Burnley with a goal and an assist. He looks a great pick for Brentford's upcoming fixtures. However, he does leave for AFCON after game week 16 against Leeds. But he may be worth putting in your team for the short term, just for that Leeds fixture as well. I think even they've got Arsenal and Tottenham in the next 2 games, but Arsenal obviously doing really well. But I think Brentford potentially could score, and if they're going to score, it's either going to be Thiago or Ouattara. And then Spurs, like, I know Spurs is considered a hard fixture, but currently I think it's a really, really good fixture for teams like Brentford. But yeah, him going to AFCON is an issue, but even when he comes back, I still think he's a really, really good option. And then under that, Harry Wilson, 5.2 million. So
Wilson.
coming off, it's a bit of a rogue one, but coming off a 10-point haul against Spurs at the weekend. And he's actually in a rich vein of scoring form after scoring a hat-trick and getting an assist in Wales' 7-1 win over North Macedonia in the middle of November. However, again, he did go off with a slight hamstring injury against Spurs. But Marco Silva says that he's feeling okay and he's likely to be available for the City game on Tuesday. But I would probably not get him in this week if you're going to punt, but I would wait to bring him in for after the City game to target Fulham's next 4 fixtures, which are from game week 15. They've got Palace at home, Burnley away, Forest at home, West Ham away. So it's very much a punt, but could really pay off as a differential with his very low ownership, like we were literally just talking about Peaks' team. But I don't know what you think about those two. They were just 2 that I sort of found from the lower price bracket who were sort of quite lowly owned.
Dango's probably a no. I mean, who am I to say who should be in your team? But Dango's probably a no from me because of the AFCON thing. I don't know if it.
Yeah. I got too many fires elsewhere to get him in.
You're going to get 5 free transfers, aren't you? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't think of fires. Too many duds, Ben.
Well, just a note on the Dango / Thiago thing, like, because I know Thiago is one of the most brought in players this game week, but Dango wins loads of pens. So I think Thiago's got 11 goals this season for Brentford, and 7 or 8 of them are penalties. And I think most of those penalties have been won by Dango. So they can't keep winning pens, can they? I mean, I don't think Newcastle have even had 4 penalties this season. So for one player to win 4 penalties in the opening 12 weeks is pretty impressive.
Madness.
That is pretty mad. Like, but it can't go on like this, can it? Like, we can't have Thiago as one of the top scorers in the league just on pens, can we? Or can we? But anyway, I'm going to stay away from Dango, I think, for now. I've got other problems for my team that I need to sort before I take a punt for the short term. Harry Wilson as well. I read online somewhere that he's really good when you're 2-0 up, but if he starts, like, if you need do you know what I mean? Like, he scores the 3rd in a 4-1 drubbing he won't get like the first goal. Like he's a decent squad player, but he's not like a game changer. I don't know. Read
No,
that somewhere.
I honestly just put him in because I was just looking at the fixtures, like just based on that consistency. Like Fulham are almost like top of the fixture ticker with those after the City game, this game week coming up, because like they played really well against Spurs, to be honest, and he's a very, very good footballer, as he showed with that performance for Wales. But again, quite injury prone as well, so that is a real punt. I'd like to see him actually have 2 or 3 games consistently before I put him in, but
Would
it was
would
just a
would,
real left field.
would Josh King not be more of a differential for that fixture because you guaranteed that he's going to start every game?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, absolutely. No, definitely. I think the thing with Josh King, he's
I
good
took
to
him
have
out of
it.
my team. Thanks.
Yeah, he's like I think he got 5 points this week, which is most in the whole season. Like he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1-pointers. Unfortunately, like he's been in my team for a while. He's really cheap. He's actually a good little footballer. He's just one of those that's never going to get you any points, unfortunately. And his assist wasn't really an assist, was it? It was just like a clothed pass to Wilson, who then just scored that absolute worldies. But you take it, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
Is it
yeah,
a
no.
worldie or is it a Vicario absolute howler?
Oh, Vicario howler, but absolute audacity to try it.
It was
Yeah.
an open
Absolute
goal.
respect. Are you bending that in from there then? Are you with your left foot?
Of course I am, mate. Of course I am, with my eyes shut and the
Yeah.
outside of the boot.
Outside the boot, yeah, outside the
I don't
right.
have a left foot. I just use my right foot.
But we'll focus on now just 2 of the game week 13 fixtures, particularly starting with Chelsea against Arsenal. One player in particular who I thought was absolutely outstanding for Chelsea was Reece James. I've got some stats here about his performance. So 100% ground duels won. He won 11 out of 12 duels. He won 5 out of 6 aerial duels, 6 final third entries, 4 fouls won, 4 crosses, 2 chances created, 1 assist, 0 fouls conceded. So unbelievable performance, unbelievable captain's performance. And actually, I know we spoke about him a little bit in the past, but is he someone to think about, particularly if he's going to play in that centre mid role rather than at right back, as obviously he's still a defender on the game? Again, potential minutes risk due to his injury record in the past, but I really think, a bit like the slot Liverpool situation, if Maresca wants to challenge Arsenal for the title, he has to be playing his strongest team at the moment. And James is the first name on that team sheet for me, so I think he's definitely one to think about, because I know he likes Gusto at right back, who I think is another good option, but I think if James plays in that centre mid, like taking corners, free kicks, like he's got so much potential there. What do you think?
Yeah, it's just the injury thing that worries me, really. But he's only 5.6 million, so he's not that expensive. That is a good way into the. I've only got Caicedo at the moment, so it is a good way into
he's
Chelsea's
not going to play
team.
on Tuesday, is he, or Wednesday?
No,
Is it
he's
Wednesday
not.
they're playing?
Yeah, he's banned till 20th of December, isn't he?
Yeah, that's a headache for me.
That is a headache.
It's minus points taken for me.
That was not.
Is it really?
I laughed. Yeah.
In more ways than one.
Great player. Reece James, unbelievable player when he's fit. I just want him to stay fit. But yeah, like you say,
so true.
I mean, those stats are pretty impressive, especially against a very solid Arsenal team. So if he's playing defensive midfield a lot and he's on set pieces, why not? 5.6 mil. I mean,
let's be honest. That was against arguably the best team in the world.
Yeah.
Realistically,
they were missing both their centre backs.
Yeah, agreed.
That's true.
Agreed.
So I think that weakened them slightly because there was a lot of pressure on like Mascara, whatever his name is.
Maresca.
No, not the manager, the defender that they've got.
Mosquera.
Yeah, Mascara. That's what I said.
You did.
Sorry.
And Hincapié as well. It was like, I think they had a bit of a tough time. Like João Pedro, to be fair to him, gave him a bit of a tough afternoon on Sunday. I thought he was
That's
really
why
physical
they play,
with them, and I thought they struggled slightly. I don't think they were bad, I just thought they struggled.
No.
They weren't as solid as having a Gabriel or a Saliba there. So it depends how long Saliba's out for, I suppose. But
Yeah.
maybe it's Arsenal's time to go on a bit of a slump.
And what
Chelsea's
about-
fixtures are quite favourable as well. They've got Leeds
Yeah.
away, Bournemouth away, Everton home, Newcastle away, Villa at home, Bournemouth at home.
Cool. -8 for me then this week to get 2 Chelsea
Ooh.
players in.
I think do you know what? Do you know who's gone under the radar and who was fantastic against Arsenal? Sanchez.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah, I thought he was excellent against Arsenal. And
Is that
obviously,
because he's in your team and you've
He's
got
in
to
my
try and pick him
team.
up to justify yourself to keep him?
no, but he's got 3 cleanos in a row before that Arsenal game. And let's
Which
be
means
honest,
he'll concede on Wednesday.
but he couldn't have done anything about the goal, and he made 3 absolute worldy saves, I thought, down to his right and left. I think he's, again, it's one
I
of those.
think Enzo Fernandez in that number 10 for Chelsea has been he's been huge for them more recently. So
Is
I
he
think
going
it looks
to he's going to stay there though if Palmer
that's
comes
a good
back?
question, because with
It's gonna be
Palmer
really
back,
interesting, yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see because Fernandez has been good there though, hasn't he? Do you see his tackle on Madueke? Oh, that was so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
They really gave him a lot of crap, didn't they?
You give me
Madueke.
food
Even
for thought there, Siege, about Sanchez, because Pope's injured, so I need a
Yeah.
new keeper.
But then to be
Ramsdale.
fair,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ramsdale, maybe.
we'll talk about them in
Yeah.
a sec. But I just wanted to get
Yeah.
your views on that Caicedo red card, lads. Like, it's not ideal, and particularly for you, Ben, as well. Along with Senesi picking up 5 yellow cards, so he's banned for this game week, along with Caicedo. Like,
Yeah.
Caicedo. Do you know what I said? I said to I was just watching at home. I said to my missus, I said, he's gonna get sent off. The way he was
Yeah.
And I bet
charging
she
round.
really cared when you told us.
She didn't care, but then I did say to her, like, he got sent off. I
Told
was just
you.
trying to justify it, which went straight over her
And
head.
I still think, I bet she really cared when you tried to justify it.
But it was, again, it's one of those, isn't it? Like, when it's slowed down, it looks horrendous. I think in the moment, it was just a coming together. Like, he's slightly late
red
over the
card.
ball, but, like, slow it down. It was reckless. And I think
It's a red card.
unfortunately, for Caicedo, it was that sort of Rice Caicedo battle was built up too much, and I think he had a little bit too much. Because I remember, who was it? Who did he push? He pushed over Timber on the side, and it wasn't given a foul. Did you see that? When he just came through the
He
back
does
of
get
Timber.
a bit like that, doesn't he, Caicedo? He gets
Yeah.
a bit hot-headed.
But I don't know. What are you going to do, Ben? Are you going to keep?
Mate,
You're
I'm
gonna
screwed
keep
because
Caicedo and see what you're doing.
Yeah, Casado's suspended, Senesi's suspended, Longstaff is injured until late December. So my whole bench is red. Plus Pope he's orange at the moment. I've got 1 free transfer and 4 unavailable
God.
players. So
Jeepers.
I'm gonna have to patch up a squad for this week.
It's got to be
But I
a
think-
minus, probably, isn't it?
Nah, I hate taking minus points. To be fair, like if I've got points in the bank, what's the point? Like I'm
You're
gonna get
so
5
far
free.
ahead, though, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
you could do it. To be honest, you could do it, and like, you probably.
I'm doing it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm taking -8.
Don't egg me on until minus points. I am playing Gareth actually. So if I'm gonna do it,
Well,
if there's any
he's
time to
holding the
do it,
trophy, isn't he?
Yeah.
it's got to be at this point. I think I'm going to focus on switching keeper out. Pope for either Ramsdale, Raya, or Sanchez. Now that you've put him in my mind, but yeah, I'm going to bench Caicedo and Senesi for the time being and try and put out some fires
Of course,
elsewhere.
Gareth, if you are listening, I don't know if you are, but if you are listening, Ben's taking -8.
Not giving anything away.
We'll go on now just to your boys, Ben. So Everton,
Yes, come
Newcastle,
on.
like absolutely emphatic 4-1 victory away from home for Newcastle.
God,
And
Everton were dreadful.
they were
They
so
were,
bad. But,
weren't
like,
they?
I don't think it was expected as like Newcastle's away form. I actually looked it up. They only had 3 points from their first 6 away games, which was crazy, wasn't it? But Malik Chow was the top point scorer of the whole game week actually with 16 points.
Another
He scored
defender.
2. Yeah, another defender scored 2 goals. I think he's definitely been Newcastle's most consistent defender this year after signing from AC in the summer. Like, he's definitely worth a look at. 4.9 mil, 2
Cheap.
excellent home fixtures coming up, Spurs and Burnley. I think he's a real one to look at, definitely. And then you had another stand-up performance was Lewis Miley, who scored 15 points. So this is his first start in 4 games, and he rewarded Eddie Howe with a goal and assist inside the first 25 minutes. I know they were resting Tonali, but that seems quite good for you as a Newcastle fan to see someone like Miley come in and be a like-for-like replacement almost for Tonali with a goal and an assist. I was really impressed with Thiaw and Miley, actually. I don't know what you
thought. Absolutely. Miley's he's only 19 as well, so I think Howe is finally getting the hang of rotating our team a bit better than he did previously. Because obviously with the Champions League this season, we haven't got the most massive squad. Miley's not nailed for minutes, but he is going to be playing more and more. I tell you what, who else to think about as well as Chow, Lewis Hall. He's back and he's fit. We've been awful away from home because we haven't had our fullbacks. Livramento and Hall have both been injured. As soon as they're back in the side, we're a different team. We don't have to play Burn at left back, and we don't have to play a 37-year-old Kieran Tripper on the right.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
As soon as those two are fit, it just changes. I was really surprised about the result. I just assume any away game we're going to lose, and any home game we've got a chance of winning. And I think Everton have got an outstanding home record as well. I think they've only lost once since their new stadium
opened. The new stadium.
Did you see Barry's disallowed goal? That was the funniest moment of play. The fact that he clumsily
shanked it,
tried to head it and didn't head it, and it hit his arm, and then went to volley it and completely sliced it into the top corner, celebrated madly because he thought he'd got his first Everton goal, for it then to only be disallowed was hilarious.
Yeah. Lewis Hall though, like his minutes going to be managed. But last year he was a steal. He was only 4.5 million, and he chipped in with like clean sheets and assists. I don't know what he is this year, but I'm waiting for him to like play 90 week in, week out.
Yeah,
Chow's also
at him. Hall, so he's 5.2 mil. Hall.
Yeah, he was only 4.5 last year, so that's some jump. But he's England's future left back, isn't he? He's such a good player. I love Lewis.
Livramento is also England's future right back, isn't he?
Yeah. We've got the fullbacks.
Good to see him back. Actually, good to see him back. You're so right about those fullbacks. It just made such a difference to the whole team. Realistically, I thought.
I'm very excited by the idea of Hall crossing for Voldemort. Voldemort's goal was disgusting.
Lovely,
as well.
Disgusting little
so
finish.
Nice.
That's him. Do you know what? That's that like Berbatov-esque.
Yeah,
he's
so
like
nonchalant.
Yeah.
Most players in that position would try and place it, but he's like, nah, fuck it, I'm going to chip it.
Yeah, so good. But no, I was really impressed actually, and they were a little bit unlucky in the week against Marseille. Like Pope, I don't know what he was doing for that Aubameyang goal. What? It was just the thing is with that, it's a bit like the Neuer
Chow
one.
had it covered. Chow had it covered. You see Chow turn around to him and was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I know. But then things like that, like I think that's what's been costing Newcastle. Like one mistake, and then once you get on top of teams. I think Newcastle are really good, but like if they do concede a couple of silly goals, that's when like we against West Ham, like a couple of not great goals, and then you're completely under the cosh. But I think they're great assets moving forward, particularly the defense, and especially Ramsdale. I think he did quite well, so he might be an option as well.
I like him. I love Nick Pope.
Transfers can't come soon enough for me.
Yeah, I know. I just want to change my whole team. Yeah. Newcastle are notoriously slow starters. I think hopefully we'll hit a bit of form now, sort the away form out, and then I'll think about Chow and Hall and the like. But yeah, very, very happy with that result. Very, very happy.
Definitely. And I just want to finish with, I just had I know it's sort of not going to apply. There's only one more round. Is there one more round of Champions League before Christmas? Is that right?
Yeah.
Next week?
Yeah, next week, yeah.
But I just put teams that are not playing in Europe with a good run of upcoming fixtures. I put sort of Fulham, Man United, Brentford, and Brighton. So Fulham, they've got City at home, Palace at home, Burnley away, Forest at home, West Ham away. And then United have got West Ham at home, Wolves away, Bournemouth at home, Villa away, Newcastle at home. Brentford have Arsenal away, Spurs away, and then Leeds at home, Wolves away, Bournemouth at home, sorry. And then Brighton have Villa at home, West Ham at home, Liverpool away, Sunderland at home, Arsenal away. So a little bit indifferent. But I just sort of picked a few players out of each team. So sort of for Fulham, I know we spoke about Wilson and Josh King. I think Jimenez is a little bit under the radar because Muniz, I think, has had an operation on his hamstring. He's out till at least the new year. So Jimenez will be leading the line, and you're likely to think a lot of their goals may come through him. Then you got United. Obviously, we spoke about Fernandes. Obviously, Mbeumo's off to AFCON. Would you be looking at Mount, De Ligt? I don't want to go anywhere near that defence.
No.
United are going to be
soon.
toothless without Mbeumo. They're going to be toothless without Mbeumo because Cunha's still trying to get back fit as well. They're going to real be when he disappears. If they don't have it's because Sesko's out for a while as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
he?
They're going to.
I was going to say, what happened to him?
His knee, wasn't it? And then Brentford, obviously, you got Thiago, who is in unbelievable form at the moment.
Pen Merchant.
Pen Merchant, absolutely. But I'm so glad I put him in for that little 13 points. But I think for Brentford, I know you got Arsenal away, Spurs away, but that Leeds, Wolves, Bournemouth, I would be looking at their defence. Like Kelleher in goal, Collins, Coyote, they're all really good options, I think.
Yeah.
But
Brentford has the
really
most favourable
clean
fixture
sheets.
list.
I'd say definitely after even like we talk about Spurs away, that's a great fixture at the moment.
That's
isn't
a great, because they're awful at home. Yeah.
They're awful in general. They've only won 2 of their last 10 games.
Yeah.
So like, let's be honest. Like it's funny when you look at the fixture ticker. Like they should be an easy fixture. Then Brighton, I know we spoke about Brighton players. They're just in really, really good form at the moment. They've got a very indifferent sort of. But they got 2 very good home games. Well, 3 very good home games in the next 5. And you're obviously looking at Minter, Welbeck. I think that De Kuyper, if he starts playing, is a good shout. I think Ruta hasn't really delivered fantasy-wise this year, but is a good option. Probably wouldn't go near their defence. I think they concede a few too many goals, but definitely attacking options for Brighton are definitely worth a look. What do you think?
Yeah, very happy with Minter at the moment. Like, just an assist machine, cheap. I'll stick with him. Welbeck, I'm not going near. Sorry,
No.
it's too old. It's not gonna be consistent throughout the year. But Brentford and Brighton are the 2 out of that list you just given. Fulham, I don't think have a great fixture list. I mean, Crystal Palace at home. Crystal Palace are a great side. Burnley away. That's not going to be easy. Nottingham Forest are better under Dyche, and West Ham are getting better under Nuno. So out of those, Brentford and Brighton. But I just need to get Thiago in. Had him on the free hit, which was great.
I'm so glad I bought him in. That was one of my better decisions this fantasy year. I was actually patting myself on the back for that one. Not gonna lie.
Right, we'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to the Sonny Schar pod. Right, before we begin the key matchups this week, we received some feedback from the social the other night that one of our listeners no longer tunes into the pod because we don't talk about him anymore. And since he is one of our most loyal listeners / fantasy managers, we're creating a brand new section of the pod for him. I'd like to welcome you now to the Chronicles of Charlie Milsom. Here you go, Charlie. This is just for you. So an update on Charlie this week. You're still bang average. He uses Haaland this year, so it's not as interesting as he was last year, where he led the way with an innovative non-Haaland template. That's it. Let's move on. No, in all seriousness, Charlie, shout out for winning your matchup this week. You chose to play your free hit, and in doing so, you scored 60 points, which is very good. I scored 46 with my free hit, and the highest score this week was actually Peaks with his free hit, which scored 64. So he got the second highest game score of the week. So I'm looking on with envy at that. Charlie went with Gakpo and Van Dijk. We talked about Liverpool, very risky considering their display versus Forest, but those picks alone got him 20 points, and he smashed Stu 60-30, scoring double his opponent and rising to 14th in the table. He's just 3 points away from a playoff place. So well done, Chaz, and thank you for keeping the gap between me and Stu to 6 points, as I also lost this weekend. I don't know if you should expect that every week, Charlie, to be honest. That was a waste of time.
That's it now for 6
That's
weeks.
it. That's it. That's done.
We're not going to name him at all.
We'll come
we've
back to
held
you,
our end of the
Stanley, in
bargain.
January. Yeah.
Right, let's get to the actual key battles now that we've got the Charlie nonsense out of the way. First up, it is Shrimp on the Varby, Andy Farmfield with 22 points versus
22
Dan.
points.
Oh no, versus Nixie. Dip your toes in with 33.
Nixie's so
33
lucky.
points.
He's been
Nixie
so
is
lucky
so
this year.
jam.
So
He's
lucky.
so jam. It's pissing me off.
Farney's recent run of 4 straight wins was brought to a shuddering halt this game week against Dan, as Andy's team only managed to score a miserable 22 points. We actually had one manager, I'm not going to say his name, but we had one other manager who got even lower than that. I'm not going to give you any guesses, you boys both already know. But the problems for Andy began in defence. Back 4 of Gahey, Van der Ven, Timber and Calafiori, 2 points. And that was all from Timber. The other 3 all scored 0 due to yellow cards and goals conceded. Midfield didn't get much better. Crystal Palace fantasy fraud Schar coming off after 37 minutes with an injury, 1 point there. Casido getting a red card and a -2. So basically, the only shining lights for Finey this week was Saka with 5 points and Voltemade with 7. The only 2 players to score more than 3 points. I mean, 33 isn't much better. Nixie had similar issues in midfield with Schar and Casido, but was at least helped by the likes of Rice and O'Reilly, who both returned 4 points each. Penalty merchant, aka Thiago, meanwhile hauled a 13-point return, which was basically what won down this matchup. Mateta and James were left on the bench and scored 14 points between them, which will be the only downside for Dan here. But that result keeps Nixie apace with the leaders as he sits pretty in 5th, while Farney drops to 19th, but is 6 points away from the bottom of the league. So he's quite comfortable at the moment, and he has just won 4 in a row. So not all bad for Farney. I just chalked that down to a low-scoring week, don't you think? What was the average? It was like 35, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was.
I just wish I could play these people when I could get a win. I seem to play people who get loads of points every week at the moment.
You played Luke, who's been a bit bipolar, and he also
got
played
like 50
free
odd
hit,
points.
57. Yeah. But
if only I could play someone getting 22 points, that would be absolutely great for me.
Right, let's move on. We've got Matt Botman returns with 46 versus Mike, last year's champion, Odegaard, my title, 39 points. So it's presumably a very happy weekend in the Bennett household, as the Toon won on the road for the first time this season. And Matt picked up his 5th win on the spin with a 7-point victory over his playoff rival Mike. Triple captain Haaland. We haven't actually talked about a lot of people using triple captain chip on Haaland who blanked, but Matt was helped out massively by an 11-point return on from Bruno Fernandes and an 8-point from Reece James. Those 19 points going a long way to secure him the victory here. His only mistake, which we can say in hindsight, was starting we've talked about Spurs, Mickey van der Ven over Fulham defender Anderson, with the free-falling Spurs capitulating at home to Fulham within the first 6 minutes. Anderson got 4 points versus Mickey van der Ven 0 points. Mike, meanwhile, had Thiago up front, but only him, Mateta and Saka did anything of note for his team this week. So actually, despite picking up the 3 points, Matt actually dropped down a place in the league to 4th, having scored 10 less points than Lewis overall. Much like you, CJ, I'm sure he's frustrated that Haaland blanked on the TC chip, but that's the only sore spot of an otherwise bright weekend. Mike, meanwhile, drops to 12th in the league, having lost his last 3. That's now just 2 wins in his previous 7 matchups as he struggles to regain the form of last year and sits just outside the playoff places. So yeah, Mike's going through it a bit. 2 wins in 7.
Very, very tough, isn't it?
But yeah, talking about that TC chip, how do you feel, Siege? It's a bit. We thought for sure Haaland was going to haul against.
It's just let's be honest. It was either this game or I think I was going to look at playing it for game week 17 against West Ham. But I think when he was didn't start against Leverkusen, I was like, right, here we go. I don't think he had a shot. I don't think he had a shot till like the 75th minute or something. It was just horrible watch. And then I saw that 3-2 go in on my phone. I thought, here we go. And then it was Foden, and I nearly cried because I was playing against Connor, who had Foden. And I was like, oh my God, it couldn't have gone any worse. But the only thing is, I suppose, I actually gained a bit of rank with my team because obviously I think over 1 million people did it, so it didn't have too much of an effect. But it was just it's gutting when you keep it and you use it
and it
and it doesn't
blanks.
pay off. Yeah.
Hey,
So
it could have
Did
been
you do it
worse.
as well, Butler?
You could have got. Yeah, I did it as well. Yeah, I went up in all my leagues apart from this one.
Yeah.
yeah, same.
It was just the way it went this weekend. Again, this is the second week in a row where I've gone up in all my rankings but lost. I mean,
I'm feeling so smug about playing my triple captainship for Haaland. I think it was like
Yeah.
game week 7 or something when he played
game
Burnley
week
at
6,
home.
wasn't it? And you got like
Yeah.
40 odd points.
He got an assist, and I thought, oh, fine, whatever. But then he got 2 goals past 90
In the
minutes.
last
and
90
it's
minutes,
Just, it's
so, yeah.
unbelievable. So yeah, right. Let's move on to another game. We've got the mightier Canards with a
Oh, I
massive
wish I could play
36
one of these
points
every week.
versus Troy Real Football FC 17 points.
I don't think I've ever
17.
seen that apart from Peaks. I think got 12 one time.
What
That's
about Nixie
brutal.
the other week when he got 3?
Yeah, true.
It's minus 28.
Yeah, but at least he took a minus for that. Anyway, fresh off his masterstroke of captaining Eze last game week, Tom carried the momentum into this matchup, comfortably dispatching Trot by 19 points to earn his 5th win on the bounce.
With only 36 points, he won by 19 points.
Yeah. Another
Oh my
4-point
God.
hit for the Tinkerer. Saw Thiago come in for João Pedro and Minter in for Embuemo. That move for Thiago was obviously rewarded with a 13-point display, enough to negate the point hit. And thanks to him, his front line of the Brentford striker plus Voltemade and Haaland was where he earned the bulk of his points, 24 out of his 36. And then you got Zaka with like a 5-point return. Now, let's look in contrast at Trotty's transfers this week. His season is going from bad to worse. 17-point total for the game week, comfortably the lowest of the league this week. He took a 4-point hit, and this one's painful. He brought in Eze and Minter, but brought them in for King and Gakpo. So King scored 5 points while Gakpo hauled 14. So instead of banking 19 points, Trotty spent 4 points to get a 5-point return from Minter and Eze. So he's 1 point better off, whereas if he's not done it at all, he would have been 19 points.
And Matty Cash has been his player of the season, hasn't he?
I was going to say,
His
once
team.
again, it was Matty Cash who saved Trotty from this being an even worse game week, because the Aston Villa defender scored 6 points, which is almost half his total
My gosh,
score.
that is horrible reading.
Which is just a bit brutal, really. So Trotty has actually been in touch and said he needs to vent. And after looking at those transfers, I do not blame him. Just want to say we're here for you. The commissions are going to support you through this time. I think you'll be making a pod appearance in the very near future, so you can air your grievances and hopefully get some form of pod pounce, because that is bleak. That is bleak. 17.
I cannot wait to hear his strategies and theory when he comes on this pod next week. Hopefully we'll get him on. Honestly, I can't wait to hear it.
I mean, I can't. You carry on, Ben, but I just want to get up how many points you've got compared to how many points he's got. And see.
Okay.
See the difference.
On paper though, it's not a bad move. Like Gakpo, King is still very cheap. Like you said earlier, Siege, he's not getting loads of points. Gakpo is like a minute's risk, and Liverpool have been weird. So on paper, it makes sense to bring in, the red hot Eze and the league leader in Minter, Eze and Minter for King and Gakpo. Any other week, you'd probably be fine. But yeah, this week it fucked him up.
So here we go then. So Ben, you've got 830 points.
Which is top 10,000 still, by the way. Yeah. 8,300 something. I'm just about clicking on.
Trotty has a 557 points, which is a big difference of 273 points between the worst point scorer and the top point scorer in the league. Wowee is all I can say to that. I mean, it's a good job we're not playing on points, because he'd be last.
Yeah, dead last.
Let me just work this out. He'd be last by a good 73 points. We were doing it on total points, which is already.
I'm really looking forward. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to him making an appearance on the pod, because I really want to hear from him. But let's move on. While Trotty might be in trouble, at least he's not alone in it. We've got Bouncing with Barco, we've got Trav with 44 points versus
These guys make me
Gazzy
feel
T.
so much better about my
Sa-
team.
Salivation Army, 24 points. So newcomer to the league, and WhatsApp goes to Gareth, has lost his 6th game on the spin and is playing Trav at the worst possible time here, who now has 5 consecutive victories under his fireman's belt. Just 24 points for Gaz, who had only Captain Haaland, Mateta, and Rice score 4 or more points. Problem is in defence. Gehi, Mukiele, both scoring 0. Gabriel injured. Senesi now suspended. Meanwhile, Trav did not need to get out of second gear to beat Gareth, with Aston Villa duo of Konza and Martinez earning 15 points between them. Some left field picks in there still for Trav remain, like Ilsidor, Brooks, Ronaldo, that Sunderland defender. But Trav is nonetheless one of 3 managers in the league to win 5 straight matches and rises to 7th in the table, while Gareth drops to bottom of the league, having scored 10 less points overall than Andy Jackson.
God,
who also
Andy
sits...
Jackson is absolutely delighted that he's no longer bottom.
Basically, they're both sat on 3 wins and 9 points all season, and that's his.
Well,
that's all they've been able
Andy
to do.
Jackson had been bottom of the league for 4 weeks in a row, and now he's gone 1 place above that. Andy Jackson's highest league position this season, by the way, I've got this up in front of me, is 20th.
The dizzy heights, the 20th.
Dizzy heights of 20th. Gareth started off quite well, to be fair. His highest was 7th, but it's just been downhill for the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
I'm gonna have to have a word with him,
yes,
and tell him to start prepping the trophy now.
You're gonna have to give him or tell him to
be
buck his
really
ideas
funny
because
if
I
he.
think Andy Jackson's still.
Yeah, I think Gareth played his wild card recently as well, but it just hasn't gone well for him. Andy Jackson lost. Let's just round off the rest of the results. So Andy Jackson lost this week to Dassey by 4 points. It was 44-40. That's a bit galling there for Jackson. Connor beat you, Siege, by 5 points? Probably thanks to Foden, right?
Literally that goal.
Yeah. Rafaro compounds the misery for Dave, beating him while he watched Everton lose 47-38. Now this one's interesting. Jordan beat Smithy by 1 point, 38-37. I haven't looked into what happened there, but that's got to be fucking frustrating for Smithy there. I hate losing by 1 point. Charlie smashed Stu. We've already talked about that one. Luke played his free hit, 56 points, which is not a bad return at all, against Alex, 39. And then what else have we got? We've got Nick smashing Fraser, actually, 58-39. Hadn't seen that. And then
Shout out to Fraser answering our call, by the way, on the WhatsApp group that night, by the way.
Didn't he answer it while he was on the bog? Am I right in saying
sat
that?
on the toilet, which was great.
Brilliant.
Appreciate it.
Brilliant. And
no
then
one else answered.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, I was chasing 2 children. And then, Lewis rounding off things. Peaks beat me with a very well played free hit, 64 points. That's the top score of the week. And I got 46 with my free hit and full of regret. Do we want to look at Manager of the Month now, Alex, or are we going to take a quick break?
Should we take a quick break and then come back and do it?
Sounds good.
Right, so welcome back. It's time for Manager of the Month. I'm sure there's a good handful of people that are really excited to take part in this, especially Stu. He always thinks he's got a chance. But we'll get on to him in a minute. So let's just talk about who's currently in the running for Manager of the Month. We've got 3 managers who won all 4 fixtures throughout November, and that was Matt, who beat Jordan, beat Nixie, beat Luke, and beat Mike. We've then got Trav, who beat Luke, beat Mike, beat Nick, and beat Gazzy. And then we've also got Jennings, who also won 4 of his games. I can't believe that he won 4 games, but hey-ho, we are where we are. He beat Charlie, Nick, Nixie, and Trotty. So we've got those 3 who are definitely in the running for Manager of the Month. Now, it's important to shout out that there were other people who were close to in the running this week. Stu, you were not one of them. I know you'd be desperate to know if you were being close to being involved in Manager of the Month this week, but you are not. I would love to show everyone a graphic of his form. His form across November was win, loss, loss, loss. So there we go. Stu, you're not in contention. But there were 3 other people who did have a chance. Farney unfortunately lost this weekend with his 22 points, which meant he was no longer going to be in the running. He scored a total of 183 points across the month of November. And then there were 2 other managers that won 3 of their 4 games throughout November. One of them being Rafaro with a total of 228 points. But a massive shout out to Peaks, who picked up a massive 247 points throughout
He's
November.
flying, isn't he?
At a game week average of 61.7.
Yeah,
across
he's
so
those
flying.
4 games. Yeah, so he could very much count himself unlucky not to be in Manager of the Month, but he did lose right at the beginning of the month, which cost him this month. So that means we're down to our 3 contenders between Trav, Matt, and Jennings. So in 3rd place with 208 points is Ben Travi, which means we are now between Matt and Jennings. Boys, who do you want to be the winner? Ben, who do you want to win? You're going to say Matt, aren't you? Because
I'm going to say Matt because we're Geordies. Got to stick together.
Siege, Matt or Jennings?
I think just the hilarious thing would be Jennings. Do you know what I mean? With all the tinkering, he just comes out of the fire to have a 4-game winning streak out of nowhere. Still tinkering as well, which I like.
Yeah.
He's not leaving the blueprint. He's still doing his tinkering, which is
resting on his laurels.
Yeah. So there's only 7 points in it between Matt and Jennings. Can we just reflect to the fact that Lewis didn't win Manager of the Month and he had a game week average score of 61.7. The person who won Manager of the Month had an average game week score of 54.2. So it's considerably less, but hey, you know what the criteria is, Balf. We're going to remind you that you need to win every single game, and then it comes down to points. So it's down to wins first. So, without further ado, in 2nd place with 210 points was Matt, which means this month's winner with 217 points is Thomas Jennings.
So good.
Yeah.
Well
Congrats.
done, Jennings. Massive congrats. He's moved house recently as well. So, Jennings, give me a shout of your bank details. I'll transfer you the 15 quid. Connor, you still haven't given me your bank details. So that unfortunately means that money has gone back into the kitty because you were too slow. Give me your bank details. Only kidding. Let me know your bank details and I'll transfer it over to you. There we go, boys.
Well done,
Manager
Tom.
month is
It
over.
was so it's literally that captaincy of Eze that won him Manager of the Month then.
Well, mate,
Yeah.
he was nowhere
Yeah.
near until last week.
Yeah.
Not
That's
even
unreal.
close.
That is
Absolute
a
master.
stroke of genius.
He should probably donate his 15 quid to Eze.
Yeah, he should. He should. That's amazing.
Eze has won in Manager of the Month.
Well done, Tom. That's a good story for Manager of the Month, actually. Captaining Eze.
Yeah, it's right. It's right that he wins it through doing something left field like that and rogue,
Yeah.
which is him in a nutshell. So he stuck to his laurels and it's paid off for this month. Watch him be bottom of our league, but fair play, he got Manager of the Month.
Yeah.
Nice
right,
one.
Siege, can we do something that I can win at now?
Yeah. I was actually we're gonna do a little bit of trivia again. I just wanted to read out the scores. Actually, you will like this reading, Butler. So me and Ben are on 2.5 each. You're on 10 currently for this game. And
Yes! I'm winning something.
The guests are on 1, but so I'm going to start this week. I've got an absolute classic for you lads. So just to remind everyone at home who's listening, me, Ben, and Alex are going to name a player, and then we're going to say how many teams that player played for, and then we're going to go against each other and guess how many we can name. So
before we get into it, Siege, I hope you're taking note of all the players that we're going through, because there's going to get to a point where we start repeating.
Yeah.
I'm
worried
hoping
about that.
I'm hoping there's enough players in the history of football that we don't actually repeat them. But
Yeah,
no,
but
I
I
will
can't
start.
remember who we've done and who we haven't.
I'm going to start making a note now. But right, my first one for you chaps is El Hadj Diouf.
Oh,
my
man.
God.
Oh,
He played for 11 clubs.
Did he?
Yeah,
No.
11
I just remember him
clubs.
playing for.
I think I could do 4.
Bloody hell!
Very
I can't.
nice.
I'm struggling to get to 3. So, I remember.
Go on, Em.
No, I'm not going to put it
What would
away.
you-
Go on, Butler.
Go on, Butler.
Well, I know he went to Liverpool from Lens.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
2.
okay.
Yeah, Lens, Liverpool, very good.
He also played for Bolton for a little while.
He did.
did.
And then he also played for Blackburn Rovers.
He did. Very good. Excellent.
How do you remember that, mate?
That's great
Blackburn
knowledge.
Championship
Rovers.
manager, Ben. Championship manager.
He
I
actually,
knew the
apart
Bolton
from
one.
yeah, so after he actually stayed in England for quite a while. So yeah, he started his career at Sochaux and then went to Rennes, and then, as Butler said, Lens, then Liverpool. He actually only scored 3 goals for Liverpool, 55 appearances. Then Bolton. Then he went to Sunderland after that for a year.
Didn't know that.
Then Blackburn, where he played 60 times, only 4 goals again. Then he went, if you do remember this, he went to Rangers on loan. Then Doncaster.
Doncaster.
Then he played 42 game for Leeds after that and scored 5 goals. And then finished his
he wasn't
career.
very good at scoring goals, was he?
No, he wasn't. He finished his career at Sabah FC in Malaysia, but 428 appearances and only 69 goals, which was really, really interesting. But I just remember him in that. What World Cup was it when they beat France in the
2002.
first game? Was that World Cup? Was it?
Yeah, 2002. Yeah, that's
Did
that's
him
when Liverpool were like, oh,
Him
Who's
and
this
Papa
kid?
Boupa Diop scored against France. Is that right? Or just
Booper Diop.
Papa?
What a
yeah, I
name.
think so,
baller.
yeah.
So that's mine then. Well done, Butler. Very good.
Yeah, mate, that's another point for Butler. 11 to 2.5 or whatever now.
Hey,
Yeah.
you boys need to up your game here.
I need to start
Yeah.
studying. This is
Yeah,
insane.
yeah, I need to do a bit. I think I'm good, but I'm actually poor at this.
I'm really poor at this. I'm better at it if you name the clubs first.
Yeah,
and
career
then I can
path.
tell you
Yeah,
the
you're good
player.
at that.
But if it's the player and what clubs they play for whatever reason, my mind just turns to mush. So is it Alex? Is it your go now? Because I've got a good one.
Yeah, I can go. Have we done Danny Murphy yet?
No, we haven't.
Cool.
Oh,
I'm going to go Danny Murphy.
Ooh, Danny
So he's played
Murphy.
for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clubs.
Okay.
I think maybe 3 I can think of.
Only 3.
Yeah. This is how bad I
I've
am
only
at this
got-
game, mate.
Yeah, I've only got 2 in mind. I don't know.
He made
why.
600 league appearances. FYI.
He's just so
Go on,
boring as a
Ben.
pundit that I forget
get-
about his playing career.
Yeah,
Like,
so true.
honestly.
I'll give you this one, Ben. Go on.
What did I say? 3?
Yeah.
I said 3, didn't I?
Should get
I
3.
know he played for Liverpool and Fulham.
Yeah.
Those are the 2
That's the
that I
2 heard,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah. And then I think he played in the championship or for a championship team after that, or possibly before that, and that's what got him the move to Liverpool. I don't know. Liverpool and Fulham. Can you give me a hint? Did he play anywhere in between? Did he play for Spurs? Is that the third one? Can I go for that?
Yes, he did. He
Very
did.
good. There he is.
Yeah, sorry, it was all over the place. Talk about championship, but then I thought I've seen him in a Spurs shirt.
He started off his career at Crewe Alexandra, where he made 134 appearances, then went to Liverpool, made 117 appearances, then went back on loan to Crewe, then went to Charlton.
Charlton, yes.
Made
Yeah,
56
yeah.
appearances for Charlton, then went to Spurs and made 22 appearances, then to Fulham where he made 169 appearances, and then finished off his career at Blackburn, of all places.
I did. I had Blackburn in my head. I don't know why I had that in my head.
There we go.
What
Good
a
one,
career
though.
that is. That is good. Okay,
Yeah.
I've got a decent one now. I'm going to introduce him slightly differently and give you a little background story of this player. He is renowned for his
Is
99
it
pace.
Espria?
No, no, close though. Well, not really.
I know.
He's, already 99
I
pace
think
on
so.
FIFA. Does backflips for celebrations. He actually
wild one.
also won a League Cup for a specific team, which is a slight hint for you. It's Mr. Obafemi Martins.
Oh,
He's had an interesting
great
career.
one. He has.
He's played for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 clubs.
Bloody hell.
Yes.
Well,
You
Siege,
know,
I'm
you
going to
know
let
at least
guess.
two. You know at least two.
Siege, I would have said 3, so you're going to have to go higher than that.
All right. Obafemi Martins. I've definitely got 2.
I think I've got 3. I could do 3, so go on.
All right, go on. All right. Oh, Inter Milan,
Yep.
Yeah.
Birmingham.
Yep.
Right.
Jeez.
Now
you're missing a
The
pretty
most
key
obvious
one.
one.
Yeah, the most
Yeah,
obvious
one.
That's why I picked him, mate. If that's not enough of a hint for you.
Newcastle.
Didn't he play loads at Newcastle? He was there for ages.
Yeah. Well, 88 appearances,
Newcastle.
28 goals. Yeah.
I'm gonna. This is very left field, but I think I'm right. Did he play in America?
He did.
Is it Seattle Sounders?
Oh,
It
well
is.
done. If that's
Very
right.
well done. Yeah.
God,
He
I did
did.
not know that.
He did well in the
Well done.
MLS, to be fair.
So did he play for another team as well?
Okay, I'll give you. Are we saying Siege won that one? Yeah.
Yeah, Siege got that one. Yeah.
So he actually started his career in 2000 at Reggiana, Italian team.
Yeah.
Then he went to Inter Milan, 88 appearances, 28 goals. Exact same record
played
at
a lot for
Newcastle, 88 appearances, 28 goals. We got relegated. He subsequently went to Wolfsburg, played in Germany for a year. Then after that, he went to Russia, Rubin Kazan. And from there, he went to Birmingham City on loan, where he made 4 league appearances, didn't score, but he scored in the League Cup final against Arsenal. Do you remember? It's like Arsenal,
I do remember
Birmingham
that.
final.
Yeah.
Arsenal heavy favourites. And then I watched Obafemi Martins win a trophy before Newcastle did. And then after that, he went to Levante in Spain. And then that's when he went, in 2013, he went to Seattle. And that's where he did really well. 72 appearances, 40 goals. After that, he went to China, Shanghai, Shenhua, and Wuhan.
Okay.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
he brought COVID back.
61 appearances, 132 players on his day. Such a good player to watch.
Yeah,
Wasn't he
was a
one of those
baller.
Nigerian players that pretended to be really young, but actually
Yeah, I think
Yes,
so.
there was some
think
question
so.
marks around it, the legitimacy of his
His
passport.
age.
Yeah. Where he said he was 23, but he was probably actually around 34. But to be honest, he's rapid, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
he was fast. Yeah, and he loved doing backflips.
That was a good one. They're what this game is designed for. Those 3 we just did, I think.
Yeah,
that's
I agree.
That's up there as the 3 best ones we've done so far, I'd say.
Let's just write them down because, like Alex says, I'm worried.
Yeah, I've got them here.
I could have sworn I picked Dion Dublin twice, but maybe I haven't.
No.
Right, before we finish, just quickly before we finish off, there'll be no video this week or video edits. So we had some drama with technical issues at the beginning again. I blame the storm that's going on outside. But apart from that, we will also be bringing you. I won't be because I'm not going to be here to do it. But Ben has very kindly offered to step up and do a loner episode on Friday. So Ben will just be recapping the midweek games briefly on Friday. So Ben, massive shout out to you. Appreciate you doing a second pod of the week for us. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
And then me and Siege will then be back next week, hopefully with Trotty. As Ben, you're on a bit of a holiday, I believe, right?
No, I'm going to Chicago for work, so it's not a holiday. But that's the reason I volunteered to. I wish it was a
Are you
holiday.
going on your own? Are you going
I
on
am
your
going
own?
on my own. I
Yes,
suppose
it's a holiday.
that's what constitutes a holiday these days. Yeah, a couple of nights away from the kids, stuck in a Chicago office somewhere. That's
Oh,
me.
dear.
It's like bloody freezing there at the moment as well. But yeah, that's the reason I volunteered to do 2 this week, because I'm off next week. So thanks for taking it next week. And I'm sorry to miss the
Let
trot
us know how
appearance.
the loner episode goes, because I think CJ found it strange. So I'll be intrigued to know.
I'm a pro,
Benny's
mate.
one-
I'll find it easier without you boys chirping about Wimbledon and XG in my ear the whole time. So
I
I'll
haven't
just
talked
fly
about
through
Wimbledon for weeks,
it.
actually.
That's true.
We'll
That's
save
true.
that. We'll save that for the with Trotty, will we? Let's be honest.
Yeah, because Trotty loves the Dons. So yeah,
Oh.
we'll definitely talk Wimbledon up next week.
I'm glad I'm missing that one then. Right, gents, who's doing the honours?
I did it last week and it didn't help me, so someone else do it.
CJ did it before that, so I think it falls to me because I need a
Go on.
bit of it with my bench at the
You
moment.
can do it twice
Yeah,
this
you
week,
do.
Ben.
May the fantasy gods be with you. Bye bye.
See ya!
See you, chaps.
It's the Sonny and Schar Fantasy League.
And even though Son has left for the MLS,
Our head-to-head league is still the best. Hosted by
Alex!
Ben,
CJ,
ABC.
Easy as 1, 2, 3.
it's another fantasy podcast.
Oh, fuck me!